You have learned that the shape of a shadow changes according to the position of the object and the position of the source of light. Now, let's do an activity to see how the shape of a shadow changes throughout the day. You will need a small toy, some double-sided tape, some masking tape, a piece of mahjong paper, and some colored pencils. Carry out this activity outdoors, somewhere like on a badminton court on a sunny day. Make sure you start the activity early in the morning. Tape the small toy onto the middle of the mahjong paper using some double-sided tape. Then, place the mahjong paper on the court. Tape the mahjong paper to the court with some masking tape. This is to make sure the wind does not blow the paper away. You will see the shadow of the toy on the mahjong paper. Trace the outline of the shadow on the mahjong paper using a colored pencil. Note the time when you trace the first shadow. Leave the mahjong paper on the court. Trace the shadow that is formed on the mahjong paper for every hour. Use a different colored pencil each time you trace the shadow. Do not forget to write down the time when each shadow is traced. At the end of the day, you will get the result of this activity. You may also do this activity with a few different pieces of mahjong paper and toys placed at different places. What did you observe? Answer these questions in your exercise book. What is the source of light in this activity? What happened to the shadow of the toy? When is the shadow the longest? When is the shadow the shortest? Why does the shadow change shape? What are the factors that cause the shape of a shadow to change? Key in your answers in the spaces provided. Then click Done.
Try again. Oops!
The factors that cause the shape of a shadow to change are the position of the object and the position of the source of light. Amy thinks that the shape of a shadow changes according to the position of the object. She also thinks that the shape of a shadow changes according to the position of the source of light. Help Amy to design 2 fair tests to find out if these are correct. In each fair test, decide what to keep the same, what to change, and what to observe. Write the answers in your exercise book. Here is a cup and a basket. Each object forms a shadow when it is placed between a torch and screen. The shape of each shadow will change when we change the position of the object, the position of the source of light. Draw 2 shapes of the shadow of each object for each situation. Do this in your exercise book. Look at this diagram. Which of these shows the correct shadow for this object? Click on the correct answer.
Wonderful!
This is the correct shadow for the object. Look at this diagram. Which of these shows the correct shadow for this object? Click on the correct answer.
Good job!
This is the correct shadow for the object.
Previous lesson, we have designed a fair test to find out what causes the size of a shadow to change. The size of a shadow varies depending on the distance between an object and the source of light. The size of a shadow also varies depending on the distance between an object and the screen. When the distance between an object and the source of light decreases, the size of the shadow increases. When the distance between an object and the screen decreases, the size of the shadow decreases. We can also design a fair test to find out what causes the shape of a shadow to change. We need to decide what to keep the same, what to change, and what to observe. We keep the object the same. We keep the distance between the source of light and the screen the same. We change the position of the object. We can also change the position of the source of light. Then we observe the changes in shape of the shadow on the screen. When we turn an object around, the shape of the shadow changes. When we move the source of light, the shape of the shadow also changes. From the test, we will find that the shape of a shadow changes when we change the position of the object, and the shape of a shadow also changes when we change the position of the source of light.
Here is a shadow that is formed from a combination of different objects. Look at these objects. Combine these objects to form the shadow as shown. Click to rotate to turn an object around. Click to drag before dragging the objects to the correct boxes. See if you have formed the correct shadow. Click Restart to start all over again.